narrative. So, have you ever felt the weight of your family's survival resting entirely on your shoulders? It's a heavy thought, right? Imagine the crushing, suffocating pressure of being the absolute sole provider for a dying parent, all while dealing with a self-sabotaging sibling who is actively working against you. Well, that is the exact reality our protagonist, Dorothy, wakes up to every single day.
The weight of survival, a family on the brink.
3 million naira. The sheer weight of that staggering figure represents exactly what is needed to save Dorothy's mother, who is suffering from a rapidly growing breast lump and severe ulcers. We are immediately thrust into Dorothy's desperate reality, where the stakes are quite literally life and death. Her family is on the absolute brink of collapse, and she is the only one desperately trying to hold the pieces together. Without this life-saving surgery, her mother will die. Dorothy has no savings, absolutely no stable income, and the clock is ticking down fast.
And nothing illustrates her absolute desperation better than this moment. She literally goes to a corporate office to beg for a financial grant, only to be told the application window closed a week ago. But instead of just accepting defeat, she falls to her knees and pleads directly with the company's strict CEO, Joshua. She tells him point blank that she will end her life if she doesn't get help, making it painfully clear that her brother's useless and she is entirely alone in this fight. It's just a raw, unfiltered moment of human panic.
Desperation meets opportunity. The makeshift uniform.
What's amazing is how she pivots from a rejected grant application to convincing Joshua to hire her as his personal assistant. But, getting the job is only half the battle when you're drowning in poverty. She is so broke, she doesn't even have corporate clothes. So what does she do? She sews a single makeshift blue uniform to wear every single day. She tells her boss it's just to ensure she always looks neat and presentable, completely masking the heartbreaking truth that she simply cannot afford a second outfit. She sacrifices her pride entirely just to keep this tiny foothold of opportunity.
But just when things start looking up, disaster strikes. She gets hired, she's surviving day to day in her homemade uniform, and then the unthinkable happens. While trying to be helpful around the office, she accidentally drops and completely shatters the CEO's brand new, incredibly expensive laptop.
Which brings us to another terrifying number. 3.5 million naira. That is the cost of the broken laptop. Joshua, who runs his business with strict emotional detachment, tells her she must take full financial responsibility. She incurs a massive debt that will take 2 entire years of her meager salary to repay. Meaning, in one clumsy moment, all her hopes of saving for her mother's surgery are instantly wiped out.
Family burdens and mistakes. The illusion of the breadwinner. While Dorothy is facing these impossible odds at work, she's fighting a completely different, deeply frustrating battle at home. The contrast here is wild. On one hand, you have Dorothy's reality, begging, sewing a uniform, and enduring absolute humiliation to build a foundation. And on the other hand, you have her brother Chitty's delusion. He's actively burning that foundation to the ground. He struts around calling himself the #1 son and the father figure, all while doing absolutely nothing to earn those titles. He even gives Dorothy terrible advice about playing games with her boss, which, thankfully, she ignores.
Chitty's delusion reaches a terrifying peak when he actually discovers his ailing mother's hidden savings. He steals over 237,000 naira, and when he's confronted about it, he furiously justifies the theft. He claims he's investing it in sports bets, boldly promising that his gambling is going to buy them a mansion in 30 minutes. He genuinely believes his addiction is a legitimate business strategy, completely blind to the destruction he's causing.
Compassion changes everything. Grace at the lowest point.
Shortly after Chitty steals the money, things hit absolute rock bottom. The family's landlord mercilessly evicts them, literally throwing her dying, crying mother out onto the bare street. Dorothy has zero money, a massive debt at work, a gambling brother, and now no roof over her head. She is completely broken. Now, to understand what happens next, we have to look at the CEO, Joshua. He has extreme wealth, but it's made him incredibly guarded. Because of his past trauma, he feels women only want him for his money, noting that people have always treated him transactionally. His heart has been hardened by people constantly trying to extract value from him. And knowing his guarded nature makes his next actions just incredibly surprising. Seeing Dorothy weeping on the street with her dying mother, he doesn't fire her for the laptop debt. He doesn't turn away. Instead, he steps in out of pure, unadulterated compassion. He personally pays the millions required for her mother's immediate surgery, and then he takes the entire family into his own mansion.
He saves them right when they had absolutely nothing left to offer him.
Lessons from the movie. What Dorothy teaches us.
This story isn't just a dramatic movie. It offers some deeply powerful takeaways we can apply to our own lives. For instance, Chitty's storyline acts as a glaring warning about the destructive illusion of easy wealth. Chasing payouts through gambling doesn't elevate you. It just drains and destroys the family you claim to protect. True leadership requires actual sacrifice and hard work, not just loudly declaring yourself the breadwinner while throwing your mother's last coins away on a bet.
On the flip side of that, we have this recurring theme that perfectly captures Dorothy's journey. You know the saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get? Dorothy didn't just sit around waiting for a miracle. She humbled herself, she begged for the job, she sewed that uniform, and she showed up. Her relentless grit and integrity in the face of despair are what ultimately opened the door to her salvation. Joshua saw that desperate hard work, and that is exactly what moved him to help.
And this brings us to perhaps the most beautiful emotional shift in the story. Towards the end, Dorothy is completely honest with Joshua. She confesses that initially, because of her sheer desperation, she actually did want to use him for his money. But she explains that his selfless kindness, helping her without demanding anything in return, completely changed her. His grace won her genuine, unconditional love. She stopped seeing him as a transaction and started seeing him as a protector.
These overarching themes really remind us that character is forged in the fire of hardship. We see that integrity truly shines when you're at your absolute lowest point. We learn that leading your family means quiet sacrifice, unlike Chitty's loud, empty titles. We see that grace, like Joshua's rescue, often appears right when we have exhausted every ounce of our own strength. And ultimately, Dorothy's raw honesty about her initial motives proves that transparency is the best foundation for building real, lasting love.
It is a profound question to reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. When life pushes you to the absolute brink, when everything around you is falling apart, do you lose your integrity, or do you hold on to it and let it guide you to grace? I really hope this leaves you thinking deeply about the choices you'd make in the face of impossible odds, and exactly how you show up for the people who need you the most.